A very good evening to you. Welcome to the Monday edition of the show. I'm Yemi Adebayo. Well, a lot to talk about on the show, and we'll go straight into it. I want to invite you into the show tonight. There's a lot to talk about. It's the day before the big day, talking about the AFCON qualifier, Nigeria against the Leon Stars of Sierra Leone, the reverse fixture, the one that was played here in Nigeria, in Benin City to be precise, wasn't as good as we all wanted. But again, the Super Eagles, three-time African champions, have a chance to redeem themselves in that second game. So we'll wait to see whether or not they will do just that tomorrow when they lock horns with the Lone Stars at the Siaka Stevens Stadium right there in Freetown. We're going to give you a slice of handball on the show today. As a matter of fact, we might probably be starting with handball on the show. We'll also go global, talk about the Tokyo 2020 Olympics, what's happening with the Tokyo 2020 Olympics. What's the president of the IOC, Thomas Bach, what has he been saying? We'll also go to London, talk about the ATP Tour finals, the best 8 players in the men's circuit, talking about the top best 8 male professional players in the world as we speak, slugging it out. And of course, today, Novak Djokovic played his game. As we speak, Alexander Zverev as well will also be going up against Daniil Medvedev. So you can talk to us on Facebook. That's Channel Side for Sports. And you can also talk to us on Twitter, @channels_sports. That's how you can get your thoughts across to us. Let us know how you feel about all of the issues in the amazing world of sports. I'm very sure a lot of you will have your mind on that game tomorrow. Will the Super Eagles be able to redeem themselves? A lot of people want the Super Eagles to go to Sierra Leone and get a win, not just any type of win, a resounding victory in Sierra Leone. Whether or not that's going to be possible, time will tell. Time will tell. So that's the outlook of the show, and we expect you to be a part of what we're doing here tonight. And so that's it. All right, let me quickly introduce my partner on the show. It's going to be with me from start to finish. At some point, I also hope that we'll be joined by a couple of guys in our Abuja studio to talk handball. I'll leave it at that for now, but let me introduce my partner here in the Lagos studio, Onyewuchi Nwachukwu, Deputy Editor of Sporting Life. It's good to have you join us tonight.
Always a pleasure, Yemi.
All right. So I want to get your thoughts between the last time you were here and today. What are the, should I say sporting moments or things of sporting significance that has happened? Obviously, I know the Nigeria game will top the list, but what are some of the other things that happened?
Well, not much. I mean, you look at the Super Eagles of Nigeria and the Leon Stars of Sierra Leone, a lot of things have been said, so much sentiment have been expressed, but that's football.
Yeah.
Then you also look at on the European scene, the UEFA Nations League, some exciting results.
Yeah.
Even on the continent, I think only the Super Eagles had an average result. All the other big countries like Algeria, Cameroon, Senegal, had very, very decent results at home, and some of their stars also lived up to expectation. I think for me, Senegal qualifying, picking the first ticket for the African Cup of Nations, winning all their 4 games without losing any, and is quite noteworthy.
All right, so that's it. Like I said earlier, we're going to give you a slice of handball. Let's go to our Abuja studio where we have waiting to talk to us. We have Innocent Nwankwo and, of course, Atabo Abubakar, both of safety shooters, the newly crowned winner of the Handball Premier League. Guys, it's good to have you. Have both of you join us on the show tonight. I want to quickly go to the coach of the team, talking about Innocent Nwankwo. That's what I want to go to first and ask him how he feels. With his team emerging as champion in the first major sporting event after the restrictions were lifted on contact sports. Can you just tell us how that feels? I'm very sure you're still in celebration mode.
Well, thank you very much for having me. Well, it feels good winning the first major handball championship for the year immediately after the ease of lockdown. And then we are happy being champion. And then we also see it as a response to the call by the Corps Marshal, who before now had told us categorically that we should return back his trophy. And I think that is why we're feeling good that we won that championship.
Let me stick with you. Let me still stick with you. I'll go to Abubakar just after I ask you this question. Talk about the competition that you emerged as your team emerged as winners. Talk about the quality of the opponents that you faced in all of the matches that you play, the opponents and the level of competition. How would you rate it? I know you're champions now, no pressure, everything has been decided. But in terms of the quality of the opposition, the teams that you faced, what are the things you can say?
Well, the quality of the opposition was very, very strong. It's very tough. The quality is very, very high. It's not a pushover, because if you look at the championship, you discover that every team that came to that championship lost a match, okay, including my own team. And then it goes to show that the championship is building up more stronger quality of players. And then if you look again, the championship since inception, this is the third edition, no team has won this championship back-to-back. Remember in 2018, the team that won in the male category was Niger United. Then we got last year in 2019, they were displaced by Kano Pillars. Kano Pillars won that championship. But in 2020, we are now crowned the new champions. It goes to show that it's the quality of opposition is very, very stiff and very, very strong. You also look at also the female category. You also discover the same thing also played out. And in the first edition, Plateau Peacocks won in the female category. Last year, it was my own team, the Safety Babes. Unfortunately, we couldn't retain that trophy this year, and Adorable Angels of Ilorin, Kwara State won that championship. So it goes to show that you cannot predict a winner for that championship, because day in, day out, coaches are working in all departments of handball to ensure that they come tops and they have podium performances.
All right. So let me go to the captain of the winning team. That's talking about Atabo Abubakar, sitting right next to his coach. And I know you're happy. I can see that you're smiling as well. It's good to have you on the show.
very happy.
But I want to ask you, now that all is said and done, you have won, you have the trophy in your, wherever you keep the trophy. But how did it feel while the competition was on? You're playing against opponent, but you're also mindful of the health challenges. I mean, in previous tournaments, it was just to play the game. But this tournament, was unique because you were playing, but also you had some of those things on your mind. So I want to ask how it felt mixing those two things while you were playing, or you just went to the courts and just didn't bother about the health challenges?
First of all, I'll say we give God the glory for the victory. It wasn't easy, and we thank God for the victory. Talking about the health challenges, when you win a match, you will be strong and very, very strong for another game. And to God be the glory, we play 10 games consecutively without losing anyone. And that gives us the zeal, the energy, the strength to still carry on. Not until the last day we lost the final match, we were already crowned the champion, so we didn't really feel the pains of losing. But the winning was just our motivational energy that was giving us the main energy to ride on, to carry on throughout the period. So at the end, we give God the glory.
Oh, okay, all right. Okay, so let me also ask you, at what stage in the competition was it beginning to dawn on you that, hey, we might win this tournament? Was it after that 10 game or just after a couple of games you were like, it's possible for us to win this?
Yeah. After the second day, because the first day we played our most rival, Civil Defense.
Okay.
After then, we played the defending champion, Kano Pillars. That is on the second day, and we were able to win that match. That match alone gave us the motivational factor. We are there already. That we just need to push harder and harder, and we know we'll definitely conquer. And God answered our prayers.
Oh, okay. All right. So now that the competition is over, and let me even ask before I ask the next question, how did you celebrate this victory? Or are you still celebrating? Which one of it? How did you celebrate?
The celebration continues for now.
Okay.
Because this is the third year,
Okay.
the third edition of the Prudent Energy Handball Premier League. And the first edition, we came third. The second one, we came second. And this is the third one, we came first. So the celebration continues. Up to now, I still get a lot of messages on my phone, congratulations and stuff like that. Even the call marshal, our boss, has not even received us yet, just messages and stuff like that. So we are still hoping the celebration continues even in the office, with friends and family.
Okay. Let me see if your coach agrees with you, because I'm sure coaches don't always think that way. So let me go to coach. Coach, I mean, the year is, approaching the end where today's November 16. So how much of handball will your team still be involved in between now and the end of the year? Or as far as you guys are concerned, you're done with 2020, or you're still going to make use of 2020 to do a couple of things as a team, even if there's no competition to play in?
Well, thank you so much. You see, for us, we are not done yet with handball for 2020, because we also know that 2021 is around the corner. And then even though we have won, we also know that there are some fundamental issues that we did wrong. There are certain things we did wrong, even while winning, that we need to reevaluate, so that by the time we go back next year, we know that the challenge is going to be much more stiffer. Don't forget the fact that no team has ever won this Prudent League back-to-back. But it's a task that we want to try to achieve by 2021. And in achieving that, we want to also use the National Sports Festival to ensure that we also fine-tune some of those areas we must have identified as being our weak points, or where we have not really excelled very, very well, to try to adjust those areas in order to put the team firm while campaigning for more honors in 2021.
Okay, all right. So I want to show you how the league ended. I mean, it's history now. You guys are champions. But let's see, just a graphic representation. Then I'll come to you. We'll talk about it. I'll even get the thoughts of my guest in the studio. This is how, they've told us earlier, this is how it ended. Safety shooters first, Kano Pillars second, Seaside Boys third. Safety shooters winning the men's competition. Before I go back, okay, the women, Adorable Angels, Edo Dynamos, and Safety Babes coming third. Before I go back to the guys in the Abuja studio, Oyuchi, in the men's and women's category, were you surprised by the outcomes, those who emerged champions, or you know, you at some point you thought probably those guys were going to win anyway.
I mean, Kano Pillars is a team that has pedigree.
Yeah.
And so it's run like a sports club. You know, they have the football
All
team.
sports,
All
yeah.
sports. So I felt that because of the structure they had and being the defending champions, they should be able to pull through. But the coach has said it, that no team has been able to defend the title, which has made it very, very unique. It also shows that no team has a monopoly
Yeah.
of the championship. So maybe that trend will continue. But for him, he has already mapped out plans
Yeah.
to defend the title. It's going to be Herculean
Yeah.
because Kano Pillars and the team that won in 2018
Will want to come
will
back.
also fancy their chances. For the women too, I think I'm shocked that my team,
Grasshoppers. Imo Grasshoppers.
yes, you know, maybe they are still basking in lost glory. You know, they used to be champions.
Yeah.
They used to also dominate on the African continent. I don't know what happened to them, but it's a wake-up call for the Imo State government.
As we look ahead to
yeah, because
2021.
we also have the handball pitch at that Owerri Stadium that is up to standard. So you already have the structure, the facility. Maybe the team is lacking in motivation. Maybe some of the players have migrated to other teams. They need to, you know, try to rekindle
sort all of that out.
you know, that old flame and ensure that Imo Grasshoppers represent the state very well.
All right. All right. Okay, let's just go back to the Abuja studios and let me just stay with Coach Nwankwo now and ask him that you've told us that, well, you're going to roll up your sleeves and get back to work as soon as possible. But how much time will be spent on celebration? Because, look, you're champions. I can see Atabo still smiling, and I can understand why. But how much time will be spent on celebration? Then you go back to rolling up your sleeves and working, because it's just about a week after winning, and I'm very sure, like you said, the congratulatory messages still coming in. Probably you're still expecting one or two dignitaries to call you guys and say, let's celebrate. But I know as a coach, you have a time frame for when all of that will stop and you get back to handball.
Well, thank you so much. For us, the party is over.
Okay.
We only gave our players a week rest, and then we'll get back to business. And then haven't told them that we intend to start full-time training by next week, Monday. And then we'll also, as part of this, we'll also go back to look at the movement of players, because at the end of every season, you find out one player moving from here to there, from this club to the other club. We also monitor movement of players. We also, the fact that we've won does not mean that we'll rest on our arse. We'll also look at how we are going to re-inject new bloods into the team, both the male and female team, so that we'll ensure that the areas where we have shortfalls, those areas are beefed up for future positive and, most importantly, podium performances in 2021. Of course, we are also we're also looking at giving some continental shots if funds are available. And of course, I want to also use this opportunity to call on the corporates in Nigeria to come and aid sports. I also partner with my club, the Safety Shooters, so that because as it is now, the government is only the one sponsoring us, and government alone cannot do it.
Yeah.
And that's why I want to use the opportunity to call on corporate Nigeria to come into our aid.
All right.
And then see how you can partner with us so that we'll bring more glory
to Nigeria,
to this country.
Okay. All right. I want to thank you guys, Coach Nwankwo, and of course, Captain of Safety Shooters, talking about Atabo Abubakar. I want to thank you guys for your time on the show tonight. Hopefully, we'll do this again some other time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, so we're speaking with newly crowned champions of the Handball League, Safety Shooters. We had a coach and captain right there in our Abuja studio. Before we go on a break, I like some of the things I've heard, and when people begin to speak like this, you know, they're looking beyond the now, which is something that helps sports to grow.
Absolutely. I mean, the coach already has his work cut out for him. He has already spotted some gray areas that needs reinforcement, and he also looking at funds. If they are already champions of the league, which means that they have picked the continental ticket, and playing on the continent is not
it's not easy.
It's not easy. So they need a lot of money to motivate, get new players, recruit well, train well. A lot of things will have to come into play. Now they have gone beyond the national level, so they need a lot of support.
All right. So that's it. They need a lot of support. Hopefully, they'll be able to get that support. We need to go on a break right about now. When we return from that break, we'll go full blast into the AFCON qualifiers. Tomorrow is a big day for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. We'll talk about all of that when we return from this break. All right, welcome back. Before we go to the little matter of the AFCON qualifiers, let's talk about what has transpired in the last few days, the harrowing experience that a former Super Eagles player has had, and some of the things he's had to deal with. So I'm talking about Christian Obodo, fondly referred to as bundle of skills. And for those who've been following Nigerian football, was a very good player in his playing days. Onyewuchi, the stories have not been good. We were very happy he's been released, but the stories about him being kidnapped, his ordeal, and how he got his freedom, all of those things, you think that it should be happening at the medieval times, not in the kind of times we're in. But it's the reality we have to deal with.
Yeah, it's the reality. Yeah, I mean, for anybody, I mean, it's you don't pray to be kidnapped.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are talking of a Christian Obodo. A lot of people, a lot of Nigerians are being kidnapped, and the stories are not really the things you want to hear. Some of them have lost their lives. Some come out with harrowing stories, excruciating experiences here and there. But for Christian Obodo, this is the second time. You remember that in 2012, he was also kidnapped.
You know what? Let's just listen to Christian Obodo in his own words. He told the story, narrated his ordeal. We listen to that, what he has to say, because we spoke with him, had an interview with Channels Television. Let's just listen to him, listen to what he has to say, that we'll come back and talk some more about his experience in the hands of his kidnappers.
What really happened yesterday? Yesterday was Sunday, so I went to church, and my mom, my son, my sisters, and my friends. So we came back, getting to the house. So my sister and his husband, they're in my house. So it's true, as I went to drop somebody and I came back. So they are still around, and I told them if they want to go now, let me just go and drop them. So I will just come to the house and rest. I won't go out shooting for today. Very close to my house. Very close to my house, 30 seconds with the car to my house. So when I parked the car, my own intention, my own focus was towards the people that were selling the fruits, because I didn't want to come down from the car. So I was talking to them, I need this, I need that, like that, I saw a car just block me, come down with a gun. People start running. There's nothing I can do again because they just blocked me. They just blocked me. So what I did, I just respect myself. Then I put something to wear me on my face, on my head. So they bend my head down. So they dragged me to the back seat. So they was bending my hand, start hitting me. They allowed me to go. And they escaped. Now then pack me. Now then come up me for boots. Now then come up me for boots. They was fast enough, you understand? Because they put the whole car will take go for the other side. They put me for the other road. You understand that? So the other part, they also okay. Just they go, they just cross, go the other side, go collect the motor, they go. I didn't escape. Now then come up me for boots. Say, bros, just the enter motor, not just the enter motor, they go, they try to go. I see where you go pass, they go where they go.
That was Christian Obodo narrating his experience. I mean, that was sending chills down the spine of anybody. I mean, you begin to think it's almost over. Being abducted, and at the end of the day, I mean, maybe when he was recognized by, they now allowed him to go. A lot of people were not that lucky. And I mean, he emphasized the fact that it's not as if he escaped. Those guys actually let him go.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a miracle.
Yeah.
Maybe something happened in between, but
They recognized him.
they recognized him and a lot of things, and they just decided to take pity on him. But before now, Yemi, the trend has been that these kidnappers abduct, the parents, like the father, Super Eagles, former Super
families.
Eagles, Mikel Obi, and
Kidnapped twice.
Samson Siasia's mother, twice. Now ex-footballer. So it's getting scary. And what is going to happen is that footballers who have made fame and fortune may find it difficult coming back home to stay. And it's not good.
Or returning to the neighborhood
where
they grew up,
they
they lived.
and lived. And it's not good. The joy is that after playing, you go back to your roots, you associate with
Mix
your people.
freely.
Mix freely. And people will begin to feel some of the things that you have garnered abroad,
Yeah.
the experiences you share, whatever you have,
Impact your society.
the goodwill. And if they begin to stay away, it's not going to augur well for the society. So I think from the footballers too, they have to be very careful.
Yeah.
Because it's obvious they are becoming marksmen.
Yeah.
And you have to watch what you do, be security conscious for your family, for your own sake. And sometimes wisdom
Yeah.
is very, very key, because these are indeed perilous times.
Yeah.
For Christian Obodo and his family members, I think this is just a miracle.
Yeah.
He was kidnapped last night and today is out. So maybe he also have to start looking at the way he moves,
His
reject
movements.
his security and all that.
All right, we wish him well, and hopefully we won't get here to come and start talking about things like this happening to our sports stars, especially people who have brought fame and glory to this country. It's not something that is heartwarming at all. All right, let's go on and talk about the big one. Let's talk about what's going to happen tomorrow. And before we get to tomorrow, let's start with today then. So let's take a look at results from the continent. Matches spread across. We'll see if we can talk about the stories behind some of these games. In Group B, Malawi and Burkina Faso ended goalless. South Sudan and Uganda, South Sudan. This is an upset in my book. I didn't expect South Sudan to beat Uganda. We go to Group C, Sao Tome and Principe. South Africa was able to win 4-2. You had goals from Tembazwane and Pesitao, both scored 2. Gambia and Gabon and ended 2-1. The last time the reverse fixture was also 2-1. Gabon beat Gambia 2-1, and this time
And
Gambia.
of course, Yemi, there was a story behind between the Gambian-Gabon game.
Yeah.
Actually, the Gabonese left the airport in Banjul
Yeah.
around 5 this morning. They slept at the airport, and a lot of stories around it. But the Gambians have come out to say that there was an agreement that they produce their coronavirus certificates
Yeah.
before they were going to be allowed into the
Entry.
country, and they didn't come, and they also refused to undertake the coronavirus test. But the Gabonese ambassador in Gambia had to intervene, and they were allowed into their hotel where they all, were made to undergo the coronavirus test. So just to make that very strict. Then
right.
Cameroon, you remember Cameroon beat Mozambique?
Yeah.
Yeah, in Cameroon, and I mean they are almost, although they are as hosts.
Yeah.
They are just it's an innovation to help.
I was even going to ask you,
prepare.
probably the teams that come second in this group
Yeah.
will take the ticket.
I think it was ingenious of CAF some years ago. They came up with the idea of allowing the host
Those
country
to participate,
participate.
that they can have proper tune-ups.
Exactly, because what we had in the past was the host country was
Being excluded.
You have been excluded. They became so dull, and sometimes they crash out in the
In the first round.
Yeah, so and
All
which
not
is
always
not good for the tournament. Yeah.
So in that game, Vincent Abubakar scored, Seg
He
Tubeku
actually scored the brace in
the other
in the
game,
first
the
round.
reverse fixture.
Yeah.
But he scored in this one as well. Zimbabwe and Algeria. Algeria were leading 2-0. Riyad Mahrez was on the score sheet, and I thought they were going to win that game, but they let it slip. Andy Delort as well, the guy who plays for Mouscron in Belgium also scored. Botswana and Zambia, didn't see this coming.
Yeah, another upset.
Another upset. Botswana beat Zambia.
Former
then
champions.
the former 2012 champions,
Yeah.
the Chipolo Polo. Eswatini, former Swaziland, got a goalless draw with Congo. So that's that. All right, so let's talk about the Super Eagles. That's where our mind will be. But first, let's talk about Group L. That's where Nigeria is. So let's show you the games that will be played tomorrow. Of course, we already know Lesotho will take on Benin Republic, and Sierra Leone will take on Nigeria. We're going to give you an official confirmation of that. I really didn't want to talk about permutations, but we're now in a situation where it has gotten to that. And Lesotho and Benin, ideally, we're not supposed to think about these two teams if we have done our business. But now we are being forced to think about them, especially if we don't get a result, God forbid, if we don't get a result tomorrow. Before I allow you to say anything, let's look at the group standing so you understand why I brought this up. At the group standing in Group L, Nigeria still on top with 7 points, followed by Benin with 6. Benin playing at home tomorrow, Nigeria playing away. I don't see Sierra Leone and Lesotho in the mix. No disrespect to the two teams, no disrespect to them. But Nigeria, Benin Republic, if Benin wins, Nigeria plays a draw, there's a shift.
Yeah, there will be a shift.
And we're traveling.
Yeah, we're already in Freetown. You know.
I mean, if after this game,
Yeah.
we will.
We'll go to Cotonou, Benin
Yeah.
Republic, to play the Republic of Benin. Then the last game will be at home to Lesotho.
Yeah.
You know, but Yemi, the situation is still redeemable. I'm not going to join the people who are already pressing the panic button.
Okay.
Yes, it was not a palatable result, especially when we were leading 4-1, 4-0, 4-1. Then in the second half, the team crumbled. But I know that these players already knew that they have let the country down,
Yeah.
and they want to redeem their image. And they have the quality. We have the players, especially going front in the attacking line.
Yeah.
We have players who deliver the goods. Perhaps some form of lack of discipline cost us that 3 points against Sierra Leone. But
Let's quickly talk about this. Similar scenario to the one that you were talking about, Gabon and Gambia,
Gambia.
also played out here. But, officials quickly waded in. There were some issues about do your tests and some of that. But at the end of the day, I mean, was all sorted. There was a little itch, but it was all sorted. And the Super Eagles, landed. They've had a feel of the Siaka Stevens Stadium, held a training session on the pitch today.
yeah, according to the FIFA, CAF rules, you fill the stadium at almost the same time that the game will be played.
The previous day.
Yemi, I really cannot fathom why there will be an issue, because we were told that the Super Eagles underwent a series of tests. I think before the game, the first leg in Benin, they had a coronavirus test. Then they also conducted another one shortly before they left, which were all negative. So it's just a question of going with the certificate to tender before the Sierra Leonean authority. I don't know if they forgot that or whatever, but thankfully that was sorted out so that the players, because you just have few hours to the match. They arrived today, the match will be played tomorrow. So we don't need this kind of distraction. Perhaps the Gabonese will also complain that they didn't have enough rest, that's why they lost the game. Because we saw images of the players of Gabon sleeping on bare floor at the airport in Banjul. So I'm happy that the players were spared the agony of not having enough rest. So they have already had a feel of the stadium and know how the pitch is like. We all are expectant that the Super Eagles will get the right result, and they have shown it. I mean, they went to Maseru, they beat Lesotho 4-2 last year after beating Benin Republic. So they have a very good away record, especially in the last 2 games. So going into that game, I expect that the 3 points is non-negotiable, considering the fact that we couldn't get the 3 points at home.
Yeah.
We need to get that point. If
To put us back on track.
if the Eagles had won in Benin and hopefully pick the 3 points, then we'll be home and dry like the Teranga Lions of Senegal have
If we
done.
had won both matches against Sierra Leone.
Yeah.
All right. Now, you talked about the forward line. I want to quickly bring this. Victor Osimhen, obviously not going to be in this party. And without him, you still feel playing away, we still have the players to get us the results. You know, and put into consideration, everybody before this game was saying, is it not Sierra Leone? Is it not Sierra Leone? We've been stunned. It was a draw, but it feels like a loss. So, without him, do you feel that, you know, the other players, Paul Onuachu traveled, Samuel Chukwueze, Kelechi Iheanacho, Chidera, Ejuke, Ahmed Musa, Alex Iwobi, Emmanuel Bonaventure, those are the guys on the forward line. You feel any pairing with any of these guys?
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, I don't want to agree with people who just underrate any opponent.
Okay.
This is modern football. You don't, you know, we have seen situations where big countries, big clubs, you know, we are shocked and they had to pay dearly for underrating their opponent. So anybody who's saying is it not Sierra Leone should, you know, go and have a rethink. You need to get your tactics right. The players need to be on their toes. And, you know, football is played for 90 minutes, for goodness sake. You don't play a very good first half and go to sleep in the second half and expect to win the game. It doesn't happen that way. In the absence of Victor Osimhen, no doubt Osimhen was in good form going into this game. Mm-hmm. You know, he scored his second goal in the Serie A against Bologna last weekend, and he also scored in the 4-4 draw. So, yes, it's going to, for Genetro, it's going to miss him, but we still have Kelechi Iheanacho has been, you know, looks overweight, but that has not affected his form for Leicester.
Finds a way to get the goals.
You know, he finds a way to get the goals. Before the international break, he scored in the Europa League, and the coach Brendan Rodgers, you know, had high, you know, praises for him. Then Dennis, it's a shame that in the first leg in Benin, he had an injury. It's another player that, if given the opportunity, can deliver the goods.
Yeah.
Then Paul Onuachu, a lot of people have expressed doubt, you know, considering the fact that if he's had opportunities to showcase what he's capable of doing, but he has not been able to do it. But I see him like a unique striker that
just play to his strengths.
Yeah, play to his strength, that the team needs to play to his strength inside, especially inside the box. So these strikers, they can deliver. Iheanacho has done it in the past. Remember when we went to Zambia,
yeah,
he was one of the players that scored after Alex Iwobi. So he has done it in the past. We have enough depth. For me, I think Ross should get his selection right. Okay. We had some issues in the first.
That's what I'm going to, even though we're pressed for time. Do you think there should be changes? The back line plus the goalkeeper, do you think there should be changes, or we could still go with the same back five? You know, I'm including the goalkeeper. You know, we are not going to Raw. We won't do his job, but as a neutral watching the game, you think, you know, we're talking on the eve of a big game that might decide whether or not we qualify with games to spare. You think that some decisions need to be made, or we just stick with the guys that played?
You know, I think Genetro has tendency of thinking with the spine of his team. What most coaches, like you said, we are not coaches, but we have also watched, you know, world-class coaches, renowned coaches. What they do is that they keep the spine of the team
together. During
friendlies, Joachim Low used some very new players, but the match they played against Ukraine, he stuck to the spine of the team.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what I think Genetro should do. If you are going to introduce some players, this is Africa. It's a different ball game. Sometimes you are playing on bad pitches, the weather is different, so you have to stick with players that are already used to the conditions. If you are going to introduce, it has to be gradual.
Yeah.
You know, he gave some excuses which I deemed not acceptable. If you are using a centre back in Kevin Akpogoma for 2, when you have established full-backs, you know, Lionel, who's playing for Fulham, and he has done well. Tyrone Ebohi, before the international break, he was included in the Eredivisie Team of the Week. These are established full-backs. If you don't have established full-backs, then you can improvise. But Akpogoma did not do justice to that position. So I think that either of Ebohi or Lionel, who are very comfortable in full-back position, should have been used. Going forward, I think Ross should also consider that. Then for the goalkeeper, it was obvious that there was no communication between Maduka Okoye and his backline.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes the goalkeeper, the confidence that he exudes will also affect his backline. His
I'll put you on the
defenders.
spot. We're going to break. Some people said he was out of depth. Was he out of depth? The goalkeeper.
Yeah, there were some situations that he needed to be very forceful. and
Looked like he
aggressive.
was overwhelmed.
Yes, I think he looked bemused, bewildered, and I think he was completely confused.
All right. We'll leave it at that for now. We need to go on a break. When we return from that break, we'll quickly touch up on the ATP Tour finals and spare a thought for the Olympics Tokyo 2020 that will be held in 2021. Let's go on that break. We'll return for more Sports Tonight.